Good afternoon. Oh, I've got the microphone. Good afternoon, everyone. I know it's been a tiresome day, but it's really educational. So I'm going to keep mine really simple. And the slides I did was to present to just regular person. I'm really nervous because I'm speaking to lots of professors and doctors and scientists and researchers, which I am not. I only do the presentation and the basic term. Just to give you a heads up of a little bit of what we are, who we are, and what we do. Oh yeah, okay, that's me, of course. All right, and feel free to laugh, even if it's not funny. That's my name, and yeah, everybody's been saying my name right. It's Asa Salikupta. No affiliation with Indian whatsoever. I'm Thai, pure Thai from Thailand, of course. But the name has been given with the Gupta. Same meaning. Yeah. And this is our brand, of course. We have a lot more products than this. We've got about 40 lines already out in the market. And we are trying, right now, we have our own clinics and whatnot and our own distribution. But we are pushing to go into hospitals as an alternative. We'll see in the future why. This is our researcher, Professor Banyong. He has studied herbs and whatnot for at least 30 to 40 years already. He started with herbs and he started with just a regular microscope. And right now the one he has, he doesn't have to peer through, like the regular one, but he just, even I think right now he's in front of his tablet screen watching the growth of yeast and fungi and whatnot, the rest. Let's check out for examples of our researchers of what we have. This is most of these pictures are from our own laboratory. I'm gonna go real quick, so don't want to be boring. These are also from our lab sample. Take it. We also did some fungi and yeast. Some of the samples. And these are the lab results. Especially, I just want to touch on one thing is the endophytic fungi B19, which Professor Banyong had found himself and already registered and sent to a few of the international labs. These are the results. We got the result from BMC and also from biotech. Partially it's written in Thai. And just so you won't be boring with my voice, let's do this. I got some food. Okay, here we go.
Knowledge about the so-called incurable diseases. Patients that have the incurable diseases, which no chemical medicines can cure, have to take medicine all their lives. The conditions are merely maintained and will get worse until they die. Such illnesses and diseases are cancer, diabetes, nephritis, migraine, thyroid glands abnormality, immune system, such as allergy and SLE, and rheumatoid bone disease. These illnesses that the patients must take medication all their lives now have a new alternative by using living organism as a helper in healing so that the patients can go back to living normal lives and be completely healed. Such living organism groups are probiotic, yeast, and endophytic fungi B19. These three groups of living organisms had been tested with real cancer patients who volunteered themselves. The relatives of cancer patients brought the patients in for medication. They begged and said that they had suffered with these illnesses for so long and had taken medications all along, while the conditions only stabilized or gotten worse. With sympathy, we let them try out probiotic to adjust their body's balance. The conditions could be improved since these three groups, when in body, they will help white blood cells within the microbiota and help bodily balance and control bacteria and virus. Within a few weeks, they had gotten better and finally was healed. The white blood cells stopped attacking its own body, like in SLE and rheumatoid. With these results, my team and I did further researches until we found thyroid hormones, calcitonin, and new herbal group to be part of medication. Today, we have become specialized in these incurable diseases. When the government and the Department of Public Health accept these researches and let us register, there will become safe alternative medications for patients, which will cost them a small amount of money to be healed. Details and origins of each diseases will be explained accordingly next.
Actually, I've got like about 10 of these, but I'm not going to show them all. This is just for some samples. And also, this clip was done before we got the FDA approved, the Thai FDA. Now it's been approved, so we've got that label that they say, yes, it is approved. You know, the same that you put on drug that you can sell over the counter, the same kind of approval. So yes, we already have that, and it's already out in the market. And just to be more specific, one more. Saving my voice.
Today, Thailand becomes the leader in having the most ratio of cancer patients per capita. The president's usual ways are surgery, chemotherapy, irradiation, and chemical medications, which can only prolong the lives of the patients. Once you're diagnosed with a cancer, you should try to find the causes. It's important that you don't panic. Listen with reasons and find as much additional information as possible. One doctor said it's hereditary. The other one said it was from malnutrition. Yet another one said it's because of transmutation of cells. Big hospitals in the United States said that it's our bodies that are creating the cancer cells, and they are looking to find out which part of our body cancers came from. Professor Banyong has said 5 years ago that the bone marrow are responsible for producing the cancer cells. Who's right? Who's wrong? Future scientists will eventually find the cause of cancer cell. For now, let's categorize it under the incurable diseases. Ladies and gentlemen, today, my team and I had found a cure for cancer by using living organisms to control living organisms. It's the same principle in agriculture that uses fungi to fight against fungi, use parasites to fight insects in plantations. We also use microbiota to fight against disease-producing cells in the body. From many years of researches, we had found the endophytic fungi that can control many disease-causing bacteria, including cancer cells. The results were clear. Next, we had to research in how to make them still alive and well, encapsulated form, and break out inside human body to act as controller on these diseases. We were successful and have tested in more than 5,000 volunteers who were real patients. Our results are known. It should be another choice for cancer patients. If the Department of Health agrees to let us register it as a Thai medicine, and as a possible choice for patients to choose in hospitals, the death tolls from cancer will be greatly reduced.
Let's not go into diabetes. But like I said, we are pushing, as we already have the FDA approved, we are pushing to go into hospitals. Nowadays, there are several major hospitals in Thailand who had cancer patients that they don't know what to do with, that like the fourth stage, and they would just, the doctor just secretly gave us our number and say, give this clinic a call, maybe they can help. And we had helped many patients, especially cancer patients, by the thousands already, that today, they were bedridden with all the pulses and whatnot, and the doctor gave them a week, 2 weeks to leave, get them to go home and say, okay, you go, you write down your will, book the cemetery and whatnot. That was like 6 years, 6 months, 8 months ago, and now they are still living. Some of them started traveling and do whatever they like already. We have proof, we have living proof of our patients. And also, let's have some fun. This is what I use when I explain, and I did do some speeches for the regular quote-unquote people, just to put it in a simple term. You see an atomic bomb or H-bomb, whatever, I go, pow! Where you are, right? The modern medication, it's like, okay, let's say we have a cancer patient, right? The cancer cells, of course, is our enemy. We might as well compare ourselves to a kingdom. Any kind of kingdom, you just pick in your own mind. Any kingdom. Once we have the enemy, the modern medication, of course, I'm talking about chemotherapy, is just to put an H-bomb or atomic bomb. It will destroy everything, right? That's how chemotherapy works at the present day. Just throw it in a pool, we just get rid of everything. Once the smoke clears, our enemy at the gates will attack again. So why don't we do this? Let's say, okay, this is the enemy come and attack us at the gate. Why don't we rally, get some people to defend? So that's our new alternative. We have our hero, of course, that's we refer to our medication, our probiotics and herbal fungi and everything that works together. But there have been many researchers, done in many countries. The problem is that, like for my example, if you want to send a warrior, Alexander the Great or whoever, the general, so to speak, to send them to the border to protect the kingdom, which is of course our body, how to send that general alive and well. If you synthesize it, it's gone. It's gone. It's like putting a general in a coffin with no food. Of course, this general is your weapon, is your main weapon. But how to make him stay alive in encapsulated form? You gotta give him enough food. You gotta make him still be alive, right? And that general will act also as a leader to attack the enemy, plus help rally the local people. That is how our medication, our probiotic from P001 to P012 to 012, and plus other types of prebiotic and probiotics and also some herbals. We have to use them in combination just to make sure that the general stay alive long enough to go and defend your kingdom against the enemy. Of course, if you can do that, victory is ours. So that's the thought, the logic behind what the Professor Van Jong had worked for. That is his main thought of thinking. He said, okay, well, you can put it in a syringe, test it on some laboratory animals. How to make it effective for human, for people. This is what we're looking for. We're looking at it at the world, not only Thailand. Of course, Thailand's got the biggest number of cancer patients per capita in the world. But we also want to help save everyone. This is a great opportunity to be here, to be in this room, to give presentation, to hear others, people, researchers and whatnot. Just a little bit of a recap. Already saw in the clip, how to make them still alive, like I just said, in encapsulated form and break out inside our body. Plus, it has to still be in the bottle, right? Those pills still in the bottle. How to make them still alive. And that's one of the success of Professor Van Jong. So let's break down a little bit and see how our products work with probiotic. What we do is we combine the probiotic yeast and endophytic fungi, also along with some special kind of herbs that we have researchers in our laboratory, which in the end we put it in encapsulated form. So for some of the guaranteed results, well, I'm not saying when I say result you can see it, you can test the blood and see result, not completely cured but better by checking the blood results are all these, whether it be bone marrow cancer or any kind of cancer, allergy, SLE, rheumatoid, diabetes and whatnot. Oops, sorry. Okay. Yeah, that's the main problem. Many of you that have given speech before me talk about bone marrow. If it's not working right, that's a big problem because the platelets that the bone marrow produces. If your bone marrow become defective, that's a big problem. So, the solution is how to make the bone marrow be activated, quote unquote, and to make it back to normal again, to work again. Our main microbiota system is, of course, the endophytic fungi B19. That's our main ingredient, and that's what Professor Van Jong had. After 30 plus years of researches, that's what he came out and he sent it to many labs, world-renowned labs, laboratory, and they have said that, okay, the B19 had the quality to kill cancer. And you probably heard, of course, I'm not that, the T cell and the T killer cell. Those are what had to bring back to normal. If all these, our own system, our own immune system, plus the T cell and T killer cell, if it works normally, you'll be probably, I'm not going to say completely immune to all diseases, but you'll be living like a normal person. The patient will come back and can be able to live a normal life again. And the immune system, of course, we watched in the clips already that it covers all of the what we call incurable diseases. In Thai we call it โรคกรรมโรคเวร What is incurable diseases? These are all the incurable diseases. Cancer, liver disease, tuberculosis, AIDS or HIV, we have patient, we have treated and infections from bacteria and germs. Well, let's break it down a little bit more. What if the immune system is too responsive? Of course, you get allergy, you get asthma, you get urticaria and sinusitis. That's what comes with when your immune system is responsive or hypersensitive. Too sensitive, of course, you get allergy from hay fever and everything. If it's off, if your immune system does not work, you get rheumatism, SLE, psoriasis, diabetes. That comes with itchiness, of course, and digestive system inflammation. That means our body lacks the balance. So this is mainly what we are doing, what we did in the past, and what we are doing. We did it mostly in Thai people. We also have some foreign patients. We have American, South African, and other countries around Asia region as well. And one of the problems is they take too much chemical medication, and that's I think everyone in this room knows that that's. First thing is it destroys your liver, the inside. It's like an atomic bomb, just like boom. It destroys the bacteria in the microbiota system. Then your body lacks the balance. Of course, it would lead to abnormality in white blood cells, and that's all the diseases. And then if you get blood pressure, diabetes, and then it will just bring all the friends. Starting with maybe a little bit fat, cholesterol, a little bit off the chart, and then it will just, hey, come on, and bring out the other friends. So today, alternative in treatment with the microbiota group, what we do is we would like to adjust the body balance, control bacteria. The immune system will come back to work normally. Because it sounds, in theory it sounds easy. It's like, okay, yeah, let's do it. But in practice it takes decades of researchers. Also, Professor Banyom, that's him. He found some new kind of herbs that this new kind of herb, it gives out tropane alkaloids. Now the tropane alkaloids, it acts as enhancer for the TSH, the thyroid stimulating hormone. And we also can make the thyroid hormone plus the calcitonin hormone works. So the problem that we can save is from babies, the newborns, up to elderly people, with memory, IQ enhancement, Parkinson's disease, along that line. So what can it solve though? You may ask the research. Pregnant woman is nourishing, plus it will enhance the health of the inborn baby, the fetus and the inborn baby. And when it comes out, it has been proven. There are volunteers that come to our clinic and start taking the medication. Thyroid, hypo and hyper, no matter how severe. We even have the liquid type for kids. Senility, to bring back, push the memory because of the myelin sheath in our brain system. It's sometimes become brittle. Low IQ children, we have droplets for children to enhance. These have been distributed to many school districts in the south And the result was really astonishing. I saw this myself personally. A friend of mine, his son is almost incapable of communicating, cannot go to school. You know, it's almost like retarded, not completely retarded, but you know, even he was 6 to 7 years old. His parents still had to dress him up, feed him and everything. And after 45 days of taking what we call smart brain for kids, he started helping himself. He can go, can have social life, and he started school. So it's right there, you know. Also, with problem with calcitonin deficiency. And of course, I have said Parkinson's disease. So these are the few of Professor Banyong's findings. Now, I may be able to answer some questions, but I will probably not be able to go something really deep because I'm not a researcher myself. You know, in the introduction, you've already seen. I have degrees in marketing and graphic design. But what I saw and what happened to me, you know, I used to be really weak, and I've got personally many years ago I was diagnosed with. I have epilepsy. I have sleep apnea. The early case of Parkinson's disease, up to the stage that, you know, like if I want to eat some soup, I cannot bring the spoon up to my mouth without spilling the soup all over the places. I mean, I would like this. And the doctor in Bangkok and in the United States of America, I went to several, also the UMKC. He said that I have to take some form of medication for the rest of my life. I've been off that medication over a year now by only taking probiotic. I'm healthier. I have no more sleep apnea, no more epilepsy, no more seizures. I can drive. I can ride my motorbike, I can ride my motor ski, I can enjoy activities, I can go out and play golf without tired and things like that. So it did good to me. Why not spread it around? So I decided to say, okay, I'm quitting everything that I work for. I own a restaurant, tour company, hotel. Actually, I have several restaurants. I quit everything and just, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out, spread the word, and say, okay, it really works. Just look at me. And people who knows me, you know, way back when, they say, like, hey, you look much better. So this is, I'm dedicating my life just to help people. And of course, it's a great honor to be here. Probiotic and herbal will return. Yeah, if you have any question that is not too deep, I'll be more than happy to. And my colleague has passed out the brochure and leaflet, and plus my personal email. So, you know, if you have something, email to me, and then I'll pass it along to Professor Banyong. I'm sure he can answer any and all questions that you have. And the reason he's not here is he's almost like a hermit now. You know, he doesn't even leave our province. We are located in Nakhon Si Thammarat, a very small city in the south of Thailand. You may have heard of Hat Yai or Phuket or Koh Samui. We are around that area, about 800 kilometers from Bangkok, the capital city of Thailand. And he's like not even in a town, about 25 minutes drive out of town. This is where we have all the facilities. We are building a new factory. We have 3 factories already at our area, at the facilities, and we are building the 4th one. We have our own clinics. We have our own doctors, in-house doctors, and therapists, and about 3 or 4 researchers there. So if you have anything deep or you want to get some contact, you want to discuss further researches, I'm sure I will be more than delighted to answer any and all questions, even if I cannot do it here. I'm sure I can pass the word to Professor Banyok and we can discuss, or maybe have some kind of video conference or something. It's easy. The technology today it's unbelievable. So any question that has to do with dealership or technology or anything that is, I know a little bit about the researchers and what he does, so I may be able to answer some of the questions, but not something very deep, like scientific thingy.
So, can I?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, what kind of herbs are you using for cancer?
That is going to be a little bit difficult to say, because he said do not mention the specific name. But let me get back to him when I fly back in a few days, and maybe we can push out some of the ingredients. Especially, I know you're interested in the herbs that help cure with cancer. I'm sure if I go back to him and I say, hey, I've been pressured by this group of scientists that they really want to know, I'm sure he will just like, okay, let's give them the name and whatnot. So just email me after this, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Anyone who's interested in to know the scientific names and whatnot, just email me personally. I think that will be more. I don't think you want me to announce the whole ingredients and everything. It's a trade secret also. So I'm not at the liberty to say its name. Some of the slides I at the liberty to erase all the names out. It's got all the names, the scientific names and everything, but one of the researchers back home, they said just avoid it, because we don't know. We have been asked, we have been approached by many big pharma, and they just wanted to buy our everything, the know-how, everything. But we're not quite so sure that their intentions is morally correct, because we have heard the stories that there are researchers that came up with cure for cancer, in the third world country, and was bought out, know-how by big pharma, and they just dumped the information and everything down the dust drain. So because they said, okay, they are making lots of money selling chemotherapies and pills and whatnot. I can say that in here because we are looking at the same way, which is probiotic. This is definitely an answer for a new way, new choice, new alternative. Wow, thank you very much. You should have been a really great audience.
Really nice presentation. Wonderful presentation. Herbal medicine, India,
Yeah, I know, because we know that it may about 2,000-3,000 of years already, the herbal medicine and the yeast, and we use biology to heal people. In India, of course, there's a major place, and also from China and whatnot. That's our roots are in the same place as well. We study a lot.
We are using herbal and mineral
Right,
medicines also.
right. Ayurveda and everything you mentioned earlier, yeah. That's okay.
Okay, this is a product.
Yeah.
Some secrecy is there. Yeah, no problem. So now,
Maybe next time I can give more details. I can go back and talk.
definitely we are interested to know about
Yeah, exactly. So
ingredients.
know.
Ingredients and
Right. So
what type of medicine, what type of herbs you are using in that?
yeah, because
similar things are mentioned in our Ayurveda also.
Right. To be honest, I didn't expect quite as distinguished audiences. You know, like I thought I'm gonna come and speak to just a regular audience. That's why I prepared something like this, and I just thought, wait, we have to add something real quick. You know, so we'll be more prepared next time. Hopefully, we'll see. I'll see all of you again, you know, in the near future. And open invitation. If you ever have a chance to go visit Thailand, don't hesitate to give me a call.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. ขอบคุณครับ